Hello. How are you? I hope you are doing really fine. Today, as you can see on the title, I am going to read a book in English. I have these two books that I have to read when I go to high school. Here in Spain, high school it's only 2 years. This book, it's the book I have to read on my first year. Here in Spain, we call high school bachillerato, and that's the book I have to read on second year. I am going to read a little bit of that second book because I prefer this book. So yeah, this is The Golden Bag. It's a history of Edgar Allan Poe. So yeah, I am going to read a little bit, not too much, just some minutes reading this book. Okay, I am going to start reading the book. Part 1. Many years ago, I became friendly with a man called Mr. William Legrand. He had once been a very rich man, but he had a series of misfortunes and was now quite poor. He was very embarrassed about this, and so he left New Orleans, where his family had always lived, and went to live on Sullivan's Island near Charleston in South Carolina. Sullivan Island, it's about 5 kilometers long and only half a kilometer wide, and it's not very far from the mainland. There is a sandy beach all around it. On the western part of the island, it's a fort of a few small houses. People from Charleston stay in these houses during the summer to get away from the heat and the fever in the city. Almost the whole island, except for this western part, it's covered with dense bushes, and there aren't any tall trees on it. On the eastern, more remote part of the island, Legrand had built himself a small hut, and he was living in this hut when I first met him. We immediately formed a friendship. Legrand was a solitary person and didn't really like people, but he was an interesting person and I admired him. He was well educated and very intelligent, but one moment he could be full of enthusiasm and the next very melancholy. He passed his time fishing and collecting specimens of various insects. He had a very large collection of these insects. On these excursions to find the insects, he was almost always accompanied by an old black man called Jupiter, who had once been a slave in Legrand family, but had been given his freedom. Jupiter was a very loyal and would do anything for Legrand, whom he considered his master. One extremely cold October afternoon, I went one of my visits to Legrand. At the time, I was living in Charleston, which was about 50 kilometers from the island. The trip to the island wasn't easy, and so I had not seen Legrand for several weeks. I arrived at the hut just before sunset and knocked on the door as usual, but no one answered. Fortunately, I knew where the key was hidden, so I opened the door and went in. I was happy to find a nice big fire in the hut. I took off my coat, sat down in an armchair beside the fire, and waited for Legrand and Jupiter. Soon after dark, they both arrived and greeted me very warmly. Jupiter, smiling from ear to ear, started to prepare dinner. Legrand was full of enthusiasm, mainly because with Jupiter's help he had found a kind of beetle with which he had never seen before. "You must give me your opinion of it tomorrow," he said. "Why not tonight?" I asked. "I didn't know that you were coming tonight," Legrand replied. "It's so long since I last saw you. How could I know that you will be here tonight? When I was coming here, I met little one Grant from the fort in the west of the island, and very stupidly I let him the beetle, so it will be impossible for you to see it before tomorrow. Please stay here tonight, and I will send Jupiter to get it early in the morning. Believe me, it is really beautiful. It is about the size of a nut, and its color in brilliant gold. It's got two black spots on one side of his back and a longer black spot on the other side of his back, and it's got antennae too. That book is solid gold except for the wings," Jupiter interrupted. "I have never held such a heavy bug in my life. If you saw the color of it, you will believe what Jupiter said Legrand. You will see tomorrow, but in the meantime, I can make a drawing to give you an idea of its shape." Legrand sat down at a small table near to the fire, on which there was a pen and ink, but no paper. He looked for some in a drawer in the table, but couldn't find any. Finally, he found a small piece of dirty paper in his pocket and drew on it with his pen. I have to swallow. Sorry. While he was doing this, I sat next to the fire because I was cold. When he finished it, I took the drawing and looked at it for several minutes. I was very perplexed. Then I went and sat on the table with Legrand. "This is a very strange beetle," I said. "I never seen anything like this before. It's looked like a skull to me." "A skull?" repeated Legrand. "Well, perhaps it looks like that on paper. I can see that the two black spots look like eyes, and the longer one looks like a mouth, and it's oval in shape." "Perhaps," I said, "but you are certainly not an artist, and I will just have to wait to see the bug itself to know what it looked like." "I think I drew quite well," Legrand said. "He seems a bit angry. I have had very good teachers." "This is an excellent drawing of a skull," I continued, "but it's a very strange beetle. Where are the antennae that you spoke about?" "The antennae," said Legrand, who now seems even angrier. "I am sure you must see the antennae. I drew them very Legrand took the paper and was doing to go to throw it into the fire, but he looked at it again, and something seemed to attract his attention. His face first became very red and then very pale, and he sat and looked at the drawing for several minutes. Then he got up and, taking a candle from the table, sat down on a big wooden cover in the corner of the room, and again examined the paper, turning it in all directions. I was very surprised by his behavior, but I didn't say anything. After some time, Legrand took his wallet from his pocket, put the paper into the wallet, and then put the wallet into his wrist desk, which he locked. His enthusiasm has disappeared, and he became very quiet and pensive. I had intended to spend the night at the hut, as I done several times before, but because of Legrand's behavior, I decided to leave. Legrand didn't try to convince me to stay, but he shook my hand in a friendly manner when I left, so I didn't see the beetle. And well, I am going to end the video here. That's the first chapter. Obviously, this is an adaptation that exists. Adaptation, yes, of the original history. If you don't know, I can do videos that are more of 50 minutes. Lasting more than 50 minutes, so I am going to end the video here. If you like it, I can read the second chapter in another video, so tell me in the comments if you want if you want me to read the second chapter. So yeah, I am going to end the video here. I hope you enjoyed really much, and we will see in the next video. Bye bye.